Come Wednesday this week, South Korea and China mark their 30th anniversary of diplomatic ties, and the occasion comes amid differences in stance over the deployment of the U.S. anti-ballistic missile defense system here in the country. Our Suk-hyen has the second installment of the three-part series on bilateral ties by our foreign affairs correspondents.
Back in 2016 July, Seoul and Washington announced plans to deploy the U.S. anti-ballistic missile defense system THAAD in South Korea.
The THAAD system will not be directed toward any third country, but will only be for any North Korean nuclear or missile threats. The deployment of THAAD will strengthen our defense capabilities with the U.S.
The decision drew an angry response from China, suspending group tours to South Korea, boycotting Korean products, and even banning K-pop music and TV dramas. In efforts to mend strained ties, the then South Korean Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-hwa explained the government's position regarding the controversial anti-missile system. During a parliamentary audit, Kang said the government was not considering additional deployment of THAAD batteries, was not planning to participate in the U.S.-led missile defense network, and was not going to develop the trilateral security cooperation with the U.S. and Japan into a military alliance. This became known as the Three No's. China wants the current Yoon Suk-yeol administration to stay committed to this policy over fears that the THAAD system would undermine its security interests. In fact, it's made new claims, saying that South Korea had not only vowed to pursue the Three No's policy, but also pledged to limit the operation of the THAAD battery that's already in place. South Korea, however, has strongly dismissed those claims, stressing there was no formal agreement or promise made between the two countries, even under the previous administration. Professor Kim Ang-kwon from the Korean National Diplomatic Academy pointed out that China appears to be using the Three No's policy to its advantage.
China feels anxious about the deployment of THAAD. That's why it's trying to resolve the problem by claiming it's a promise or an agreement, and not just a plan set by the former government.
He also said it's necessary for South Korea to clarify its position on THAAD and to hold regular talks with China on the issue.
Even if conflicts arise in the short term, discussing THAAD issues with China will be a necessary step in building an equal cooperative relationship in the long run.
While THAAD remains a litmus test for South Korea and China relations, both countries agree that this should no longer become a stumbling block to their bilateral ties. Suk-hyen, Arirang News.